Alright, so in the last video, I mentioned something about the camera, and I dived a lot into the properties panel. So in this video, I will basically I'm going to show you the value or the importance of the properties panel. Now, if you've ever used any design software before, or any either Microsoft whatever before, there's something we call properties panel, and most times those properties panel are contextual based. What I mean by contextual based is that whatever you are currently selecting on, your property will react to it. For instance, if I click on, just keep your eyes on this area, you see what I'm talking about. I click on this, if I click on this, if I click on this, if I click on this, you always know that something changes every single time I click on it. And those things are like these are the emphasis of the property of that current object or current mesh or current spline or current text or current um, metaball or current surface. So now if I venture looking at this guy, if I want to know more about him, I just if I click here, notice that this material is here, but this one has changed. If I click on this, you notice that some extra things was added, like this one was added, and the modifier was also added. The modifier was also added. So you can just compare it. You see that when I click on this, you have the modifier has been added. Particle, I believe particle was added also, and we have the data. If I click on this, it means that modifier is added, the particle has been removed, and this is there. If I click on this, the modifier has been removed. Every other thing apart from this data and the material. For the spline, you notice that the modifier is still has been added back, but the particle has been removed, and the data is there. So depending on what you're currently working on, be conscious of what changed here. Now, if I click off, the last one I selected will be the last information you will find here. You can see. So if by adventure you are not selecting anything, there are at least 5 things that will be constant. The first one is this one, this one, this one. This is the output, this is the render. We'll touch that also in one of the videos. This is output, this is your view layers, this is your scene, that is your scene overall. Then this is the world, that is the whole world, the world they're currently building. And we have this collection, and then we have object. Now this object is based on what you have on your scene, by the way. So the collection, the world, the scene, the view layer, the output, and the render, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now these 7 things will always be active, no matter what. They will always be active, no matter what object you're selecting, or no matter what object you're selecting. On those 7 things, so they are they play a very pivotal role in your environmental building in 3D. Yeah. So let's check this out. Now for this one, I click on this. I click on the material. Now I can change the material, blah blah blah. Let me move to this preview. So I click on this now. Material is still there. I can change the material of all this also similar to the first one. But you notice that if I click on this, this is what's appearing. This one. If I click on this is what's appearing. This one. So this and this are different. And the reason why they are different is because their functions are different primarily. So this is a mesh. This is a metaball. To get a metaball, just shift A, you see it here, metaball. And this now is a text. You can see that, look at the function of the text. And this is a surface. And this is a spline. And this is a text. So to get them, you first shift A, and find this is spline, this is the text, this is the surface, and this is the metaball, and this is the mesh, obviously. So now all this they have their place in your modeling process. They are not, you will not always use all of them, but there are few times when you will need them. Same, the most used one in 3D modeling and animation, the most commonly used one is the mesh, which is this one, and the curve. The mesh and the curve are like the popularly used one. Every other one work alongside the mesh and the spline. I think I mentioned in one of those videos that we have different modeling approach. We have the polygonal modeling, we have the primitive modeling, we have the spline or knobs approach, we have the sculpting, So, and we have the subdivision modeling. So every of those pattern, every of those modeling approach serve different purposes. Now, if you're going to character modeling, you have to have a knowledge of something we call anatomy. But we'll touch a little bit of character modeling in the near one of those videos, and then you'll see the value of each and every one of them. So yeah, that's basically that about the properties panel. So everything here is the properties panel. They will serve a lot when dealing with anything on this thing. So please be conscious of this part. Don't just work in the 3D viewport, be conscious of this part. Even if anything, be more conscious of this area more than you're conscious of this area. For this area, you can still, depending on how many things you're building, you can ignore it. It's important, but it can be ignored. But this area should not be ignored, because everything we'll be doing going forward when we start the practical fully, we'll be touching this area again and again and again. Yeah, so that's that. See you in the next one.